Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, kings and queens of the land. Good afternoon, the royals, my favorite people. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to Burkina Faso, the liberated zone in Africa under the French colony, part of the French colonies. Under President Traore, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Burkina Faso. Good afternoon to Mali under President Asim Goita, liberated zone. Good afternoon to Niger. Good afternoon to President Abdurrahman Tian in Niger, the liberated zone. Good afternoon to KZN in South Africa, the liberated zone in South Africa, under the leadership of President Jacob Gedleyihlekisa, His Excellency President Zuma. Good afternoon, KZN. Without any exclusion, we honor the people who are fighting on their way to liberate Africa, on their way to liberate the African people. We honor all of those people and we love them. Uh, my name is Mngoni Mkhonto. This is the Royal Opinion. Thank you very much for joining. Click the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much for all those who are watching my videos and for all those who are subscribing. Thank you very much. We highly appreciate. Highly appreciate. If you are coming for the first time in this channel, click the like button and subscribe. Here we talk about politics and any other issues that affects positively or negatively black people with the intention to um, uh, what we call to reduce the impact of whatever is affecting the African people. Sometimes the English run away, but I'm able to get around in any way because, well, I know a lot of English words. I'm able to get around the English language. Thank you very much for joining. Today we're talking about the achievements of President Zuma. President Zuma, whom I want to name, whom I want to term His Excellency, the Supreme Leader of Black people, President Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Zuma. His achievements only in just a year, from the 16th of December up until now, we are evaluating, approaching another 16th of December, looking at what President Zuma has achieved compared to any other existing politician in South Africa in terms of everything that has to do with politics. President Zuma, compared with every other political leader, President Zuma has launched the MK party on the 16th of December 2023. From that 16th of December 2023 up until to date, people are still talking about the MK party. The MK party is still the topic of their day everywhere. The MK party is the topic of the day everywhere. The news industry, and all those who wanted growth online, they've achieved a lot of growth because of the trending nature of the MK party and President Zuma. Anyone who wants people to watch them, they speak about President Zuma either negatively or positively. That helps them to achieve their numbers. It does not matter whether you say negative or positive things, as long as you are speaking about the MK party, you get your numbers higher. Where the MK party is involved, the numbers are higher. Why do I say President Zuma is the highest achiever of the year? President Zuma has formed the MK party uh, on the 16th, has launched the MK party on the 16th of December 2024. From there, President Zuma was facing elections on the 29th of May. From the launch on the 16th, President Zuma and the MK party has been trending. Online, it has been trending. Uh, in the communities, it has been trending. Everywhere you go, it has been about the MK party. Anyone who wants to speak, it has been about the MK party. People have been wanting to know about the MK party and President Zuma. That's the biggest achievement before the 2024 elections. President Zuma was able to mobilize the masses behind him. President Zuma was able to mobilize the kings of this land, whom there's still a lot of discussions that needs to happen between the politicians and the kingdoms as well, whom are most of them, 90% are actually sellout kingdoms, the ones that were established by apartheid governments. In actual fact, I don't even think that 90% it's a fair number. I think there's very less kingdoms that exist that are not established by white people. So that is another challenge that President Zuma is facing. But we are talking about what President Zuma is able to achieve going towards the election. President Zuma was able to, according to even the people who hated the MK party, who does not want the MK party to rule over South Africa, the MK party got 14% of the share, of the vote share. On their first uh, contest of the election, very first contest of the election, within 6 months of their launch, overtaking the economic freedom fighters, uh, po- position number 3 in the country, to be the third biggest uh, political organization in the country, according to the numbers in parliament, the official numbers. Of course, President Zuma is contesting these issues. President Zuma is saying that he's got evidence that the MK party has been robbed. Their during the elections, the numbers are fake, are not the ones that are supposed to be. So President Zuma is quite aware, and the issue is in court. It's going to be adjudicated. We just don't know of the date. When is it going to be adjudicated? But it will be in the South African courts. So President Zuma uh, achieved, it's a very hot, It's a very hot day in Limpopo. Very, very hot. Like extremely hot. I'm sitting outside, but very extremely hot. So President Zuma uh, has been able to, according to the IEC, get 4 million votes. The first political organization in the planet to achieve that. The first and the only political organization which was formed within 6 months and managed to get over 14% of the share of the vote, contesting election and or almost even according to the enemies winning. According to President Zuma, the MK party has been able to achieve the two-third majority that it wanted. So that's what the MK party is taking the IEC to court about. The MK party is not happy about the result of the election. Is not happy. They have taken the IEC to court. So President Zuma saying he's got solid evidence. He's just waiting for the case to go to court and all the evidence will be revealed there, because President Zuma saying he's got solid evidence that the MK party's votes were stolen and given to other political organizations. So President Zuma, the highest political achiever of the year, managing to get more than 4 million votes. President Zuma, in the first contest of the election, managing to take over the province of KwaZulu-Natal. According to official numbers, it's 45% of the share of vote in KwaZulu-Natal, and those votes are what President Zuma is also disputing. The issue of the case, which was supposed to go to court even today, delays and delays happened about the case. Is still waiting to go to court. The MK party is disputing the result of the election in KZN and everywhere else in the country. The MK party says they did manage to gather the required number, the two-third majority that President Zuma has requested from the South Africans. President Zuma has been able to garner support or to form a formidable political organization within a very short space of time. There's no politician in South Africa that cannot be disputed. There's no politician in South Africa who has ever done that. There's no single politician in South Africa who can contest that issue. President Zuma has formed a political organization which is formidable and which is a threat to take over power from the white people. The reason President Zuma formed the MK party is because he knew of the plan that the white people had, that they had to take over the ANC and take over South Africa to govern, to merge the ANC and the DA to form a super power, a super governing power, and anybody who will not be satisfied about the measure between the ANC and the DA would be given the option of the EFF, to go to the EFF. The EFF was part of the plan of the white agenda. The MK party came to disturb the agenda. If President Zuma did not stand in the gap, South Africa was gone totally under apartheid, and nobody would be fighting for anything. Now, at least there's still hope that people will be liberated, because the MK party has stood in the gap, knowing that President Zuma, knowing the plan that white people had about black people. They wanted to take over in the recolonization of South Africa. They wanted to take over the ANC and form a mega political, a mega governing party, which will have the two-third majority, but which will be controlled by white people, and form a mega opposition party, which will still be controlled by white people, but which will give a perception to black people that they still have somebody who represent them. That was the EFF. The EFF was supposed to stand in the gap when the measure between the ANC and the EFF and the DA happens. So that was the plan. President Zuma has successfully stood in the gap and stopped the plan from happening. Now, the black people know that they've got an option in the MK party. White people are trying to promote the EFF. Even Ellen Zille saying that the EFF and the Democratic Alliance are actually the only real options which are available for the future of South Africa. That was Ellen Zille promoting the EFF, that the EFF is the future. The EFF and the Democratic Alliance are the future. That's what they wanted to create. They wanted to create a super opposition in the EFF, so that even when they hand over power to the EFF, there wouldn't be a problem, because the EFF is part of the agenda. Then President Zuma successfully stood in the gap. Mm. President Zuma has defeated the white system in the courts, which wanted him arrested, because they knew that President Zuma, having being aware uh, of the plan, he is not gonna stand and watch them implement their plan. He's gonna defend black people, knowing him that he was going to defend black people. White people wanted to take President Zuma. They tried. They actually kidnapped President Zuma and took him to prison. Uh, uh, but they failed. Their agenda had actually failed. Even though they took him to prison for no apparent reason, the mafias took President Zuma to prison. President Zuma emerged successfully, um, um, without chains, from the prisons of the apartheid government of South Africa and the colonial South Africa. President Zuma's name will be mentioned as the only supreme leader of black people who liberated black people from colonial Britain and the imperial America. President Zuma will be, the statues of President Zuma will be raised in South Africa. The EFF, they went into the elections uh, knowing that they are part of the nice plan, which is going to, everybody was relaxed. The ANC was not campaigning. The reason the ANC was not campaigning is because in any way they wanted to lose the elections. They wanted to lose the elections to go around between 40 and 45%, so that they can take the 30% from the Democratic Alliance and form a super organization, a superpower, and creating the EFF a super opposition and eliminate the smaller organizations. South Africa was going to be a two-state, as a two political party organization, being the DA merging with the ANC and the EFF merging with all these other forces that are actually for white people. So the MK party came and stood in the gap. The President Zuma successfully standing in the gap, winning against the system. The EFF going into the election, uh, going to with a hope to achieve more than what they have achieved in the previous election. The EFF being the biggest losers of 2024. I want to name them the biggest losers. But by the way, if I name them the biggest losers of 2024, the losers are meeting today. I mean, from tomorrow, from the 12th, for what the CIC terms the NPC, which is the National People's Assembly, taking place in Nazareth. Losers are meeting there. The losers of the year. The MK party, I want to call them the winners of the year, meeting on over the weekend. The winners are meeting over the weekend in Durban, in Moses Mabhida Stadium on the 15th of December. 15th of December. Today is the 11th. On the 15th of December, the winners, which are MK Party, the winners of the year, they are the winners of the year because they managed to overtake the EFF and became almost overtook the Democratic Alliance and became, they've actually became, managed to become an official opposition of the country. That's a major achievement. It's a serious achievement. A political party which went in to contest the election within 7 months after it was formed, got about 14 to 15% of the vote of the vote share, or getting two-third majority as President Zuma is claiming. Let me not talk about what he's claiming. Let me talk about what is there. Uh, the biggest gainers of the year, or the biggest winners of the year, is the MK party in politics, and also in general. The biggest winners in terms of the news is the MK party. The biggest winners in terms of the membership is the MK party. The biggest winners in terms of the leadership, the biggest move of the year, I would say, is Floyd Shivambu me moving to the MK party. Eh, that's the biggest move of the biggest political move of the year. And the MK party, I want to call the MK party and His Excellency President Jacob Gelesegisa Zuma, the winners of the year. And I want to say the winners are meeting in Durban on the 15th. I think it's gonna be the Sunday. They are meeting on Sunday, where the winners will be celebrating. The winners will be celebrating their victories of the year. The MK party is facing many, many challenges. President Zuma, through his wisdom, said there should not be any election in the MK party to avoid infiltration. But this does not uh, then bulletproof the MK party in terms of infiltration. There's still a lot of infiltration in the MK party. President Zuma has got some of the biggest challenges within the membership of the MK party, who are sent there by the enemies to derail the MK party. MK party is still facing court battles, serious court battles of survival, facing deregistration. There's no political party in South Africa which is facing deregistration like the MK party, which has ever faced threats of deregistration like the MK party. Still facing threats of deregistration in South Africa. President Zuma still facing threats of arrest in South Africa by the ruling elites and the system. Biggest challenge, the sellout still being used against President Zuma. President Zuma is still under massive and massive challenges that he has to overcome. But President Zuma has got the wisdom and the ability to cleanse the MK party and bring forth a leadership which will take black people and liberate them from the supreme powers of the queen, of the colonial masters. So President Zuma does have the ability and the skills that are required. And President Zuma is putting up leadership which can be trusted by black people, which cannot be trusted by the white system. Leaders like Dalimpofu, leaders like Floyd Shivambu, uh, uh, in the MK party, who can be trusted by black people. Black people can trust those leaders, but the white system cannot trust them. Leaders like John Thorpe, Judge John Thorpe, Judge Professor Dr. John Thorpe, if you want. Those are the leaders of the MK. Those are the leaders which black people can trust. The white system cannot trust. So they are fighting to infiltrate the MK party through installing their plans, like the Mary Padi Mpumalanga convener fight. is the implant of the white system into the MK party, who wants to survive, so that they can cause chaos or derail the purpose of the MK party to avoid change in Africa. This is big. If the MK party wins, it's huge because they will definitely change the constitution. The white powers, the people who owns the mine, the people who are making billions and billions of dollars out of the mines, billions out of agriculture in South Africa, those powers, they are afraid. Those who are making billions out of selling pharmaceutical drugs in South Africa are afraid that President Zuma is going to promote the Sangomas, is going to promote traditional healing. They want to bring chaos, they want to see chaos because they are afraid of change. President Zuma has managed to calm people down and to listen to him because he's a commander in general. So he's been able to control basically and to command where he needed to command and to talk where he needed to talk. Such a leader, President Zuma, is able to achieve uh, putting up the MK party and its leadership, sharp leadership. The winning of the case by the MK party members who were removed in parliament by the MK party, it tells you that the court wants their own people in the MK party, because otherwise, why would the court controls who the members the MK party would delegate to parliament? So if the court takes it upon themselves to choose the candidates who are supposed to go to parliament, then it tells you that the courts themselves have been infiltrated and are used as instruments to fight President Zuma and the MK party. If President Zuma can take an issue to court now to say he's still a member of the ANC, he wants them to reinstate him as the president of the ANC, they will refuse. Or if they say, or if he say, I want them to reinstate me as the member of the ANC, they will not rule in his favor. But because it's the MK party, they are ruling in favor of the white system. This is a system. Black people, they should, black people, we should wake up, know what is happening, know what is happening. Don't be fooled by the propaganda media stations. This is a serious war. In Pumalanga, there's an element, or there's a mine there which is very unique in Delmas, a very unique mine where they mine a material called iridium. Iridium is the most expensive element in the planet. Per ton of iridium, it's $45 million per ton of iridium. It's $45 million. It's actually trillions in South African rands. Just 1 ton of that material is an extraterrestrial substance. When we say it's an extraterrestrial substance, it means The material was actually imported from other planets. It was not made by anything which is available in planet Earth. So it was imported from other planets. South Africa and Haiti are the only countries who has this. And Pumalanga and Delmas. From 2018 up until 2022, they've mined over 6 tons of those material. If you want to calculate how much is it, if only they have contributed just a little to build schools, if they have contributed just a little to alleviate hunger or to employ local people. But capitalism does not work like that. Capitalism is take everything. It does not work. It does not have um, capitalism. It's a robotic system. It does not care about emotions. So President Zuma is the biggest achiever of the year 2024. Julius Malema, the CIC, Julius Malema, and the EFF are the biggest losers. And the reason that the biggest losers is because they failed to convince South African during the election. They got actually less seats than they had in the previous parliament. They got less seats than they had in the previous parliament. In KZN, they were actually defeated very shamelessly in many places. They were defeated shamelessly, shamefully. I mean, not shamelessly, shamefully. The EFF is the political party that has lost many of its leaders to the MK party. So they are the losers in that regard. They lost a lot of brain power and a lot of um, human capital, which is too critical for the liberation of black people. When we talk about Advocate Dalimpofu, we can surely say that human capital is a critical element of the liberation of black people. He's a very resourceful and very powerful individual to have in your organization. So losing him is one of the things that you can actually lose, which is measure. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, we all know how measure is Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, the former public protector, very depth of knowledge and even intelligence, because she's been once deployed as an ambassador to China. So she was handling the spies of South Africa and China. So she knows of intelligence operate relatives, if one may put it like that. Sometimes I just use this English word, throw them around. Sometimes I don't really know the meaning. Sorry, not to offend you guys. Sometimes it's like that. So, uh, we're talking about, and I was Mzwanele Manyi, very good administrator, very, 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 very good administrator, very political awake, like, and very honest individual, open. Uh, Mzwanele Mai went to the MK party from the EFF. The list is endless, ladies and gentlemen. The actual list is endless of the things that the MK party has won over the EFF uh, in the past year, just in the past year. If we want to go beyond that, President Zuma has achieved even higher things. President Zuma is the only president in the planet to ever spend over $1 trillion in infrastructure in the first term, in his first term, or in one term. Let me see. Is the only president in the world. Is the only one who has achieved such kind of achievement. President Zuma is the only one in South Africa who has built new universities. President Mandela did not build any university. President Thabo Mbeki did not build any university. President Zuma, who is said to be uneducated, built 3 universities in South Africa. President Zuma resuscitated the almost non-existent TVET college education. President Zuma started the food program of children at schools, started the no-fee schools in South Africa. Starting to pay the child grants for uh, uh, children whose mothers are not working, paying child grants to and from the age of 0 to the age of 18. President Zuma started those programs. The anti-retroviral program that President Zuma took over the roll out during his sorry, the dams that President Zuma has constructed, the power stations that President Zuma was Medupi power station under President Zuma construction, uh, constructions of Kosile power station, President Zuma constructions of dams in Limpopo, constructions of bridges all over South Africa, constructions of the highways in Gauteng under the leadership of President Zuma. None has achieved. None can be compared to President Zuma. None of the former president can be compared to President Zuma. If we talk about his achievements uh, outside 2024. But now, if we want to talk about the achievements 2024, I want to compare the winners and the losers. The DA, they're just in the no, they're not actually in the middle. They are one of the biggest gainers. Though their gain is very shaky because President Zuma is here to disturb what they have gained. Because taking over the ANC is one of the biggest gains that the Democratic Alliance has achieved in in this year. It's just that their gain will not be equal to what President Zuma is able to achieve in terms of defending black people. So they have actually gained a lot. They wanted to almost demolish everything, taking over the ANC and controlling the EFF. They wanted to take over everything. They were gonna be the biggest gainers of the year and the biggest gainers of the century, because they've been gaining since then. But now President Zuma standing in the gap, threatening their status of being the biggest gainers of the centuries. President Zuma wants to become, now he is the biggest achiever of the year 2024. If we compare him with his political opponents, he's the biggest achiever of the year 2024. The biggest loser of the year in 2024 is the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, as compared to any other political party in South Africa. The Democratic Alliance have gained because they've consolidated and took over the ANC. The Freedom Front Plus have gained in terms of membership as well, and the MK party have gained and became the biggest political opposition in South Africa. That's one of the biggest gains of President Zuma in a singular year, defending against people like sellouts like Jabulani Kumar, defending himself on the other hand against sellouts like Jabulani Kumar, or defending himself against sellouts individuals, against sellout lawyers, against constitutional court judges, defending himself against all of those things. President Zuma come out the biggest winner of 2024. The winners are meeting on the 15th to celebrate 15th of December, to celebrate 1 year since the winner has launched their political party of the winners. They go to the Moses Mabhida Stadium to celebrate winning, and to celebrate winning favor from black people, because they have won the favor of the ordinary masses of black people. They may not have won the favor of the powers that be, because the powers that be are controlled elsewhere, but they have won the favor of the ordinary man in the street. The MK party are the biggest winners of the year. The losers are meeting on the other hand at Nazareth tomorrow to evaluate. One of the things they are going to evaluate is how did they find themselves losers. That's one of the issues that they will be discussing. Uh, Click the like button and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mngoni Mkondo. This is the Royal Opinion. If you are here for the first time, I appreciate your love. Hey, I also love everybody who comes and watch this channel. Thank you very much. This will be the end of our live session. Enjoy your day.